death and taxes, two certainties. But as far as taxes, are they certain in Canada? Before we get on to the answer of that, please subscribe and support us through PayPal. Geoffrey Turner is a tax lawyer in Toronto with Davies, big law firm, and he knows his business. He's also a Conservative candidate, and he joins me right now because I want to put the question to you. We're all paying more taxes, and they're going up and up and up and up, and we don't see more train tracks or subways or any big things where it's going. Where could the government help us out?
Well, that's a great question, Stephen. I think the government could help us out perhaps by spending a little bit less of our taxpayer money.
On what, for instance? Where's it going?
Oh, well, the government spends right now about $500 billion. That's the federal government's expenditure annually. That's out of a $3 trillion economy right now. That's about our aggregate GDP. And by the way, the government's only raising about $460 million or so in tax revenues. So there's a $40 billion shortfall. That's the deficit. That's being funded with additional borrowed money.
So if you were the Minister of Finance, how would you tackle this?
Well, what Canadians really are yearning for is relief from the high tax burden. That's the key to improving affordability for Canada.
But you just said the government's not getting enough in taxes to pay for what they're paying out now, so they want more.
You're absolutely right. And so what we really need to do is incrementally reduce the level of government expenditures by having a focused spending review to finally evaluate all of the spending programs comprising that $500 billion of expenditure and determine which ones are giving Canadians benefits that are much larger than the costs of those programs. And when we reduce the overall level of spending, that will earn us the ability to then slowly reduce the tax burden.
Geoffrey, has that ever been done before?
Spending reviews have been done periodically, but the last comprehensive spending review was during the Harper government. The Trudeau government has not yet undertaken a thorough, comprehensive, hard, disciplined review of the level of spending. The Treasury Board President, Anita Anand, has announced a spending review, a very small one, focused on reallocating about $15 billion or so. That's not what we're talking about. We need a much broader review of all government spending.
She asked all the ministers to say, we need to save or to cut back $15 billion.
And the purpose,
so they took them out of the guns for the Army. We have an Army without any guns.
And the purpose of that is to refocus that spending on other spending areas like pharmacare or dental care programs, which are all very good, but we can't yet afford those programs. We're not even paying for those that we are currently spending on now because we're running a deficit.
You know politics. And I look at the cabinet. The Minister of Finance is a book writer, journalist. Anita Anand, smart woman, Treasury Board. Is there anybody in there with any fiscal experience?
Well, that is a criticism of the current cabinet, that there's maybe not enough perspective from the business folks, but we're trying to change that with the Conservative candidates.
You're so diplomatic. Thank you very much, Geoffrey. 3 minutes. This show provides independent analysis of the issues. We are not paid by the government. And as I am finding, so much business in Canada relies upon various governments that they don't want to sponsor or advertise on a show which may become controversial, which talks about liberty, freedoms, sometimes criticizes government. I've had guests on that support the government. But people are saying, you know what? We don't want to bite the hand that feeds us, i.e. government, which is why I hope you'll subscribe and contribute to keep this show on the air.